I'm becoming a romance girly for real. I finally read The Love Hypothesis. Or rather, I listened to it because it was on Spotify audiobooks, and I thought, you know what? I have heard so much hype about this book, and I'm just gonna listen to it and have a good time and see what it's all about. And I really did have a good time. I really, really liked this book way more than I expected to. The characters are really what got me. They're what always gets me in my favorite books. It's gotta be characters. If the characters aren't good, I'm not gonna care anything about the rest of the book. If the characters are good, I also don't really care about the rest of the book. If the characters are good, I'm gonna have a good time. And I really, really liked the characters in this one. I can't remember the main character's name. In all honesty, it's been like a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks since I read the book, and I read it in like 2 days, or listened to it, you know, but I can't remember the main character's name now, and that's just really terrible. I can't think of it. All I can think is Poppy because I listened to People We Meet on Vacation immediately after, and so now I can only think of Poppy. I can't think of her name. Anyway, I'll find it and like put it in here somewhere. I can't remember her name, but I do remember our main man's name, Adam. I really liked Adam, so I feel like I should start with the main character. Yeah, we'll start with her. Whatever her name was, I did like her. I thought that she was well done. She wasn't like annoying or anything. That's sometimes an issue in romance books, is that our main girl is just like really annoying or really has not very much personality or whatever else. But I liked our main girl in this. Didn't really have any issues with her, and I thought that she was like well done, and I don't know. Yeah, I liked her. But she's not the one who really got me. I really liked Adam, and I didn't really expect to at first because I don't usually like the like broody characters, like when the guy is just super, you know, dark and broody and I don't know, unhappy or whatever else all the time. Like I don't really usually like that character, and Adam is more of like the dark and broody type, but not in such an annoying way because he still has fun and he still can be fun. I think it's more just that he's like very reserved. So it's not so much that he's like melancholy and depressed or something all the time. It's more that he's just very reserved and like keeps to himself unless he's with our main girl, and then, you know, a more fun side of him comes out. So I did really like Adam. I thought he was well done too. It was really fun. I found myself falling hard for this book. This was a good one, and I really wish now that I had gotten it like a physical copy and could read it, and probably I will someday. That one is now on my list to keep an eye out for, and if I find it in like a thrift store or something, I'm definitely picking it up because it was just so much fun, and I would really like to read it again at some point and like actually physically read the book and not just like listen to it. I love audiobooks, don't get me wrong, and they're great for my current job, which I'm not going to have this job too much longer, so I'm not going to be able to listen to as many audiobooks, but it is really nice right now to be able to listen to an audiobook while I'm working. So I did appreciate that, and like it was a good audiobook to listen to. But I just would really love to read the physical book at some point. There was definitely more content than I was expecting also. So if I do ever reread it, I'm just gonna skip some of it. I ended up just like speeding up the audiobook really fast because I was at work and didn't want to like, you know, take the time to go through and skip through. I didn't have time for that. And it's a little bit harder to like skim when you're listening to an audiobook. You can read something and skim. You can't really like listen and skim without speeding it up. So that's what I did. I just sped it up. But for the most part, I just really liked the book. I think I ended up giving it 5 stars because it was just a really fun time. And I liked the plot too. I am a little bit a sucker for like a fake dating type plot. I think that's kind of fun. So I had a good time with that. I thought it was well done. I do think that the trope, the like miscommunication trope where it's like, okay, if somebody would just be honest and talk about how they're feeling, things would, you know, go smoother. We wouldn't have all these issues. That kind of annoys me because that was like a lot of the issues in this book were just that like our main characters were not being honest with each other. And they're like, oh, well, I can't say anything now. But also I'm a hypocrite because I've been in that situation where I'm like, oh, well, I can't say anything. Like, I mean, this was probably like 10 years ago. But I definitely was in that situation where I was like, oh, well, if you're not going to say anything, I'm not going to say anything. So I'm just going to pretend that I don't like you, even though I do, and I think you do also, but we're just going to not talk about it. So, I mean, I'm being hypocritical, but like in the books I read, I don't love that trope necessarily. That was probably like my main downside with the book. but that also wasn't like a huge part of it either, I don't think. I'm trying to keep it separate from People We Meet on Vacation because that one's just like in my mind. Maybe I should just combine those two videos and do that in one right here. I might just talk about them both in this video instead of doing like two separate ones. So that'll be new. I'll just talk about them both. But anyway, but for The Love Hypothesis, I thought it was really, really fun. And I kind of want to read the other ones. I guess there are like 3 in this Women in STEM series, or like, not series, but it's by Ali Hazelwood, isn't it? I'm forgetting now because there's Ali Hazelwood and there's Emily Henry, and I think that one's an Ali Hazelwood, and I think People We Meet on Vacation is Emily Henry, but I don't have the books in front of me and I didn't look this up, but I think it's Ali Hazelwood. I'm like 95% positive. So anyway, she has like, I think 3 novels that focus on like a woman in STEM or academia or something. So I don't know that I want to continue with those like immediately because they might be too similar, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're very different and the characters are different and everything. So maybe they'll be different enough that it'll still be fun, but I might just wait a little while on those and read them later. What else do I have to say about it? But I guess that's kind of just my really short review about this one. I had a good time. I thought it was good. I don't really know. I don't have anything else to say about it. So I'm just going to switch over to talking about People We Meet on Vacation, which was the one I read immediately after. So I definitely am getting a little bit confused, but I'm going to try to remember. Now, I had watched People We Meet on Vacation first, so I had some of that in my mind while I was reading it, and I did watch it like several months ago, so it wasn't like fresh in my mind, but I did still remember quite a bit of it. And there are actually some things that happen in the movie that don't happen in the book, which is not surprising. Like usually book to movie adaptations are not perfect. So there were a lot of things that were like a little bit different, some things that were kind of majorly different. But anyway, I was trying to like separate them as I was reading it, but it's a little bit hard to do. I think I ended up giving People We Meet on Vacation 3 stars. It just was not really it for me. And I loved The Love Hypothesis so much that then to read People We Meet on Vacation was a little bit of a letdown because I don't know, I just didn't like Alex. I felt like Adam was done really well and he had like personality and was kind of fun and like sweet. And then Alex just felt kind of bland a lot of the time. And I don't know, I just didn't like him. He was very like pessimistic a lot of the time, and he was that kind of like dark, broody, annoying type of love interest, and I just didn't love him. And it's kind of weird because I feel like he wasn't supposed to be quite as dark and broody, but he just came across as like very pessimistic all the time. So I really didn't love Alex. I didn't hate him either. He's not like the worst character I've ever read, but I didn't really love him. Poppy was fun. I liked her. She's, you know, she's a fun time, so she kind of made up for it. I think they balanced out really well. Speaking of balancing each other out, that's something I thought was done really well in People We Meet on Vacation, where they definitely don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, and they argue a lot, and they have differences, but they always find some sort of like compromise, or they always come back together, and their friendship has stood that test, and they've been able to push through any differences they have as friends, so their relationship felt more real, because that's how real relationships are. You're not always going to agree. You're not always going to like each other either. You're going to have arguments and fights and be upset with each other, but you can always overcome that. Like that's how a good relationship should work, is that you do end up overcoming that. So I felt like the relationship felt real. I liked that a lot. I liked the structure of the book also. I liked getting like the flashbacks to 5 summers ago, 4 summers ago, whatever, and like slowly working up to whatever went wrong a couple summers ago, but then also getting the present day and seeing how they're feeling now. So I really liked that back and forth, and I think it was a good way to keep the tension up where we don't know what happened. We don't know what went wrong. We don't know what the big falling out was, and we're just slowly getting these bits and pieces, and we're getting to see how they get along and how their relationship has grown throughout the years. So I think that was really well done, but it didn't work coupled with a lot of the like present day tensions, because a lot of the present day like problems were just a series of like will they, won't they get together, and they're, you know, they're together and then they're not, and then they're talking and then they're not. And to be having that in present day back and forth, and then also in the past and going back and forth between not talking and just having that happen twice kind of was overkill in my opinion. Like it got really, really annoying in the present day. I liked it for the back and forth, for, you know, leading up to whatever happened and having that kind of tension. I didn't want the same tension in the present day. So I really didn't like that. That's kind of what bumped it down for my star rating. It was just, I don't know, it was too much, and I kind of was over it. I was like, okay, just get together already or don't. Like, I'm over it and I don't care anymore. So there was just a lot of back and forth, will they, won't they, and I was not a fan of that. Otherwise, I mean, it was a good romance. I see why people like it, but it's not going to be like one of my favorites, and it's not one that I'm interested in reading again ever. Unlike The Love Hypothesis, where like I really would love to read that again, and I would love to own it, and I would love to sit down and read it and be able to like highlight and mark it up and just have a good time with it and sit with it. I really have no desire to do that with people we meet on vacation, and I'm done. Like, I read it, cool, no big deal. I do want to give more Emily Henry books a try though, because I know that she's like the other big romance name. I feel like Ali Hazelwood and Emily Henry are like big right now, and I don't know if people tend to like one or the other. I feel like I see a lot of people who have like dozens of both their books, so maybe I just need to give Emily Henry another try. If you have any recommendations for good Emily Henry books, let me know down below, and I will see if I can like find those on Spotify or something and try another one of her books. I just don't really know where to start. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. I would appreciate that. But that's going to be it for this video. I'm just going to wrap it up here, and how fun was this to do 2 videos in one? I hope that was fun for you. It's just going to be like a little romance compilation, I guess. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check back in next Friday for another video. It might be a reading vlog, it might be a review. Who knows? I never really know. I just edit them and figure it out as I go. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!